victory and power full of energy. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots.
So the song was written in 1978. So those days they've been speaking about the robotization and the robots. And today we're still speaking that the robots could improve our industry. But am I a robot? No. I'm just a millennial who born in 90s. I was using my personal computer from 5 years or 6 years. I've been working as a CAD engineer. That's because of my brother. He is a structural engineer, and when I was 13 or 14, I started my CAD experience. So I learned some shortcuts for AutoCAD, and I earned my 500 litas those days, so that was my first salary. Afterwards, I went, after I graduated my master's degree, I went to Autodesk Authorized Developer Center. And in 2018, I started my career in Contech. Those days, I didn't catch that I'm working in Contech. But now, we have this conference. This conference is in Lithuania, and I'm very glad to speak to you guys here. So thank you very much for the invitation for Simonas. And a lot of times, I've been speaking about building information models and how they can improve the construction industry. But still, if this methodology has a massive potential to reconstruct the construction industry, it has failed on some parts of it. It fails on delivering the promise to improve industry productivity at some points, environmental impact, and some errors. So let's speak about the numbers. What kind of numbers do we have? So a typical non-residential buildings, they run out of the budget, 80% of them run out of the budget, and 20 months in the schedule, behind the schedule. So why is that? That's because the construction industry is slowly learning. The productivity of the construction industry is not comparable with the productivity of manufacturing or agriculture. So currently, my co-workers, they are in California looking for some investment into our company. That's why I'm speaking somewhere about the US, but the US right now have like 11 million workers in the construction industry, and they still have 5 million housing shortage. So this means they can't make any difference in this sector. So we have to think about that, because the sector that we are working, you guys are working, we are working, the sector is horribly huge. I mean, it's 13% of the world's GDP, together with agriculture, together with manufacturing, together with information. We are in that top 5 industries that are working in the world. So this year we have about $13 trillion dollars. This is $13 trillion big industry. So if we count up to 1 trillion, that would took us around 31 years to count loud. So imagine how big is that. And next year it will grow, and all the years until 2050, we have to have like 13,000 buildings a day, every day, because the population is growing, everything is growing. And that's why the startups get funded. And that's why we see the group of the startups and the investment into the startups in the Contech. And one more thing behind everything, already we saw this number in the morning by the guy who said he's not the robot. Me too, I'm not a robot. So the same numbers, 40% of buildings, they make the CO2 the CO2 of the whole world is 40% made by the buildings, by the operation of the buildings and by the construction. So as well from the Modix, as you saw some examples about the construction, and today I saw really nice constructions from the wood side, but still, if a simple guy would make his own home, he will still go the same way. He will still go the same way. And why we are using the phones, the supercomputers here, and we cannot use a super homes to build them? That's because we're missing something. We're missing the productivity, we're missing some data, etc., etc. So if we use about the prefab technologies, and it is usually, we have some limits in choices. Either we have limits in choices, either we go with expensive and long process. So this means either you go for money, either you go for standard house. So we have to think about something new, a way that is called a mass customization. So it's something near to a mass production, like a price of the mass production, but for every people, for every person, it could be a special project for him. So my approach, my company approach. So we have a company, a construction company that owns the standard workers, let's say architects, structural engineers, BIM managers, estimate guys, etc. And we have a unique approach. We try to combine this knowledge from construction industry with something different from different industries. So in our company today, we have structural engineers, architects, etc. from construction, as well we have AI, we have data scientists, we have, let's say, robotics and automation engineers, we have material scientists, etc. So what we have, if we mix and match two different technologies, we have something new that could drive the industry. That could be the answer how we can work in this industry. So one of the most, let me say, Googled architectural firm of Zaha Hadid is looking for the same. They're looking for some spaces that are repeated in manufacturing, but they are not repeated in just like a boxes for the human being. So they are looking for something new, for some new technologies like 3D printing, like AI, etc., etc., for the construction. So our company, it is working in two different ways. So we have a design-build construction process. So we are working at the design with our software, and we're working with at the build stage, where we make some technologies like prefab construction technologies for panels, for modular, and for 3D printing. So let me explain a bit. We're working at design schematics and conceptual design with the software, and at the build we are working with our technologies. So let's move on. What is the idea of our company? Is to make the client to buy our building just as they do with Teslas. I mean, they go online, they do something with their car, they choose the colors, they choose the luxury class, etc., etc. They press the button to buy it, and after 6 months, they receive the car. So they get the short message, and they receive the car. So the idea from ourselves is something similar. The user, it goes to our web page, it chooses the land, it automatically generates the best solutions for his land. I mean, including the sustainability, energy efficiency, etc. He chooses the technology, as well he chooses the manufacturer who is nearby, and after some time, he's getting the house. So what we've made at the design stage, we have a site planner and we have a plan generator that generates endless combinations of houses. So currently we're working with two floor houses, and we get something about 1 trillion different plans. So right now we're working with our data scientists to filter that and to get something that our customer needs. So we want to know more about customer and to suggest him the best solution as he have. As well, what we did, we integrated our technology. We made the technology for modular housing, and we integrated that inside of this solution as the proof of concept. So we're looking for manufacturers right now to integrate their technologies of modular houses, panel houses, etc., to get customers to them. And we have interactive 3D models. So I don't want to speak about that. Let's look at that live. So we automatically generate the building plans, and we automatically regenerate the 3D models. So this means if you have something at the plan, you can get the 3D model. Afterwards, you get the pricing. You can compare different situations. So it's MVP. It is working right now, and we're trying to get like customers and manufacturers together into one platform where we can gather each other and discuss about the pricing, about the timing, how it could be built, etc., etc. So that's the software. But if we are going deeper into the build side, so we have the integrated modular manufacturing system. So it has a high-end architecture that was made by Netherlands architects and Lithuanian architects combination. We have a design matrix for our outer spaces and interior. And we have the whole technology and engineering. So this means we took the knowledge from here and they put that knowledge into the software. So when we started manufacturing and thinking about this technology, we found out that there are a lot of functions how those modules could be connected together. So we found out that, and we found out that our expenses on architects, they are so big, so we have to think how to attract our customers. So we decided to write the software to use the artificial intelligence and generative design to get those things together. As well, we've been working with different technologies, and we have a lab scales. So I mean, the technology of the modular, it's a lab scale. We test it, we know how it is working, we push that into our software. The next step, what we are working, it's a panel production of concrete precast walls. And currently, we did some automation with distribution of shutter system. So we integrated some CAD and BIM models. So if you get a Tekla model, we explode that into the wall system. We take the wall, push that into our robot, and robot is doing something like that. So we are distributing, laying out the shutters on the table, and we're pouring the concrete inside of it. So we get the wall. So this technology is still in a waiting list. And this technology will be integrated in our software. That's because we want to move not only to 1 or 2 floor buildings, but we want to move to bigger and bigger buildings afterwards. And one more thing, a pioneering project for Lithuania. It's the largest multi-material 3D printing system in the world. And what we have here, it is working for construction industry as a whole system, printing the whole wall system. We have a wide range of materials possibilities. So we're working with any plastics from 200 to plastics to 350 Celsius degree melting point. As well, we're working with polyurethane foam. So we can print either walls, either molds for the construction industry. So what is the difference between us and different printers? We can work with 2 different methods. It's a planar printing. So it's like something like a table printing that is working layer by layer. And as well, we are working on lattice printing where the nozzle is working any direction, any time, so interpolating all three axes at once. So that's the biggest, let's say, nice thing that we have here. So let's check. This is our 3D printer. As I told, it's 6 by 4 by 4 printing volume. And we printed the wall that is on the right side. So instead of reinforcement, we are using reinforced plastics, and we're using it as a mold for geopolymer. So we're working not only with technologies, we have chemical guys that are working with materials. So the polyurethane is made out of the food oil. This cement part, the concrete part is made out of ashes. And the plastics are recycled. So that's what we are doing. We're trying to make it ecological as possible, not only from the technology part, but as well from all the parts where we can do that. So as Steve Jobs said, the great things in business are never done by one person, they are done by a team of people. So right now I've been thinking about my team, and I would like to thank my team. They did a really great job here. And one more thing that I want to say, so at the bottom, the robots are about us. So if we create robots, if we train them, if we launch them, so anytime we want, we can turn them off. So thank you for your attention, and if you want to discuss something about, just call me, write me, or just discuss after this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jokūbas. I'm expecting a robot exit from you as well, but
I'm waiting
yeah.
for some questions from you.
So maybe no questions, just a wish from me. I see that you are very ambitious, and I wish you all the best. Moving from the tiny houses to bigger scale houses, and also I like the idea of 3D printing. So we just discussed with the colleague here on the table that what's hardest there is the material composition.
Yeah.
And we all know that there is a big lack for the material engineering guys. There are maybe 3, 4, up to 10 guys in Lithuania who can do a great job. So all the best luck for you, Jokūbas. Thank you very much for the presentation.